Good day and God bless everyone, especially to our beloved instructor, Ma'am Bell. Good morning. So today I'm going to discuss the introduction of our report, which is entitled Components of the Special and Inclusive Education. So when we say inclusive, okay, it means it is covering everything, all important points in education. So here we can define what types of children, how can we modify the children, if that specific children, especially the parents or even a teacher, and modify their student and their children, or who has a delay of development in their knowledge and their skill. So without any further ado, before we proceed, so my name is Mariano M. Damuluan Jr., taking the Bachelor Science Education major in Science. Currently, second year student at NCMC Maranding. So let's now proceed into the main topic. So here is, we're going to include the first subtopic here is the child find through pre-referral process. So when we say pre-referral process, it is the evaluation and special education services begin by identifying students who have additionally needs and excuse me, and who may be at risk for developmental disabilities, like at what I've said just a few seconds ago. In this topic, we're going to evaluate, okay, identify those students who are delaying the development of their knowledge or their skills, how they interpret this kind of situation or every scenario that are we future teacher, educator, when we guide some our student. So here, okay, so okay, school guidance counselor, early childhood teacher, primary school teachers, and community-based daycare workers are often first to notice such as developmental delays in our children. So here is okay, school guidance counselor, even the teachers or parents, they are the first people, okay, around the children, okay, those who very close with the children. They are first who will be the observed, who will be noticing the developmental delays of their children. So as a parent or a teacher, we need to be double on time of how we can fill the gap of our student or even our children. So we can find any help from the expert, especially the daycare workers. Okay, daycare workers, we all know that that's the first school. Okay, that's the first stage where the children are going to develop the her or his knowledge. Or yeah, that's the first stage. So okay, so that's the we're trying to say in the pre-referral process. Okay, pre-referral process. So daycare workers are often the first notice such development delays. They are the first who will notice such delays of their children. In other instances, the parents themselves notice in delays and seek consultation with pediatricians and other specialists. So we all know the pediatricians, they are the doctor of the children, or if the children has the delay of their mentality and how he delivers some explanations, they are going to fill the gap. So as a parents, so next one is the pre-referral process. So referral for evaluation and special education services begin by identifying students who are additional needs or may be at risk for development disabilities. No. So sorry. So a child noticed a significant difficulties in relations to expected competencies and developmental milestone be referred to parents and teachers for observation and assessment. Taylor 2009 provided an assessment model that begins with a pre-referral process. Children with noted developmental delays and difficulties are identified through observation by use norm and criterion reference. So here in pre-referral process, what he's trying to say is pre-referral process is a proactive method. Okay? Sa proactive method is addressing the academic behavior difficulties, behavior difficulties in struggling student in the classroom. So this one is the author one trying to say is to noticing, okay, is to observe what kind of assessment, okay, what kind of process that we need to use as a teacher or a parents to our children so we can do, okay, we can modify or we can act that specific problem of our children or our student in what we're going to do to fill the gap or to solve the problem, so that for them they can analyze or they can interpret more easily, and even the how they expand their knowledge very early and without any delay. So Mona, all students who require further assistance should take part and covers the essential to their unique requirements. So that's the pre-referral process. So the next one is the pre-referral strategies. So essential and pre-referral referral intervention is the use of pre-referral strategies. So, like what I've said kanina, later in this part. So this is we're going to use the strategy in the referral process. So that are designed to provide immediately instructional and behavior management to support child using such strategy lessens the number of the cases referred for special education and makes efficient use of the time and financial resources that could have been spent for special education assessment. So Hayward 2003. So here in referral strategies is one of the sign of how we can determine our child or our children or our student or even here in the pre-referral strategies, one of the sign of how we can determine our child or our children or our even friends of our children is how we observe them, the way they interpret, okay, the way they listen, the way they talk. As a teacher or as a parents, it was very important to us to observe our children or our student in our house or even in the classroom to cover the gap, so that for them that was very hard to fill, okay, that for them that was very hard to fill, and it takes a lot of times to cover. So we must use the referral strategies. So the last one is these are the strategies, okay, or this is the process of how we can help one specific child in his disabilities in learnings. So first is we need to we have the essential identification. So recognition of potential problem. Yes, of course, that's the main solution that we need to discover their potential problem in what areas. So also the parent or teacher observation, yes, and also the review of the school records, classroom observation. So the way they act, the way they answer, the way they cooperate, we need to find the review their past classroom observation. So that's it. So the next one is the determine of the teaching areas and strategies. Small group instruction. So when we, as a teacher, when you give some assessment, okay, is it the group? So you need to structure. You need to give some instruction to them, and you need to observe how they act if they are in the group, and also how they act when the assessment is there an individual. So that's it. So the direct instruction, okay, how he comprehend or how he interpret, how he comprehend a direct instruction. So you can easily observe that one. So next one is the implementation of the teaching programs. Additionally, in the class after school support. So after the class, as I recall my elementary, okay? Elementary this, if I'm not mistaken, that was the grade 3 or grade 2. So before we going home, our teacher is going to give us the what do you call this one? The multiplication table. We need to memorize the multiplication table from 1 to 10. Okay, multiplication table. If we don't, if we answer those 1 to 10 multiplication table, then we're going home freely. Okay, that's the example we're trying to say in additional class after school. So this is modification classroom environment behavior. So when in here is we need to act how they bring the upgrading how we need to observe or act how they upgrading from their home and they're going to bring in the class, okay, their behavior. So we're going to act that one in that way. In that way, we're going to observe how they act. Okay, so modification instruction to address potential needs. So how we're going to answer the needs of their potential, of how we're going to address, okay, how do we to address their behavior or their potential needs or to be developed. Okay, so the last one is the evaluation of teaching program. So here is determine effectiveness of program and learning behavior. So here is we're trying to say is reviewing the performance of a student in a classroom. Okay, analyzing the and then to analyze the student and also to provide constructive feedback for the student. Is it the student has the has the development towards his knowledge and even the comprehension of the student. So that's my report. Thank you and God bless.